Good morning. I'm preparing to begin what I'm expecting to be a very busy month or two period here. New projects, a couple old projects about to be wrapped up. And at the same time, I've been kind of working through a fairly fertile period in my creative writing. And that's going to have to be set aside for the moment because bills have to get paid. I'm hardly the first writer to concern himself making a living. Johnson said none but a fool ever wrote except for money. And I guess that makes me a fool because quite a bit of my writing, the stuff I enjoy the most, in fact, is stuff that nobody's going to pay for up until poets start doing stadium tours, which isn't likely to be anytime soon. And I don't have the sort of patron that Shakespeare had, probably because I'm not that good. But in any case, in order to support my writing habit, I have to write for the filthy lucre. Not long ago, I wrote a poem about that very thing. One of my characters that turns up in a lot of my work. His name is Old Ethan. He's part guru, part madman. And in this case, he's trying to make a living, as am I. And so there's this poem called Old Ethan Up Against a Deadline. As he tries to figure out, he's working on a project and he's trying to figure out how to make the advertising click while at the same time thinking about his own writing. So I'm going to try and get through this. It's different from a lot of what I do, so I'll see if I can make it through this in a way that is entertaining. Old Ethan Up Against a Deadline. Free writing then, around some keywords. Fusion, juice, contusion, slams together, song, inclusion, join hands in stark confusion, repurposing the poverty-stricken vows of howitzers and butterflies, freebasing verse revenge, like bass guitars with wings. The bassist is racist. What the hell does that mean? Flinging and singing all the while, Collider insiders divide and conquer the end of the world, a wholly owned subsidiary of Meme Co. So I said to Miss Teen Communications, such as such, might I infuse your toolbox with a hammer or two? No, no, no. The marketplace of ideation can be no destructuration, only instructuration. What whimsy, I said, and waved Adweek in her face for emphasis. Keep looping back to fusion, where splice is nice, and all are textured in the marketeria of ideas. I see clearly in my leftist of brains where splice equals fusion, free of confusion, where ads meet marketing, where message explodes in a tiny white light of awareness, a laser calling the way to action, to response, to reaction, to pre-action, where the broadest concepts pincushion science of the audience. As if Sun Tzu had composed the art of more. Deconstruct, then reconstruct. Beconstruct, nexus of postmodernism and existentialism. That's funny. Nextistentialism. Or maybe nexistentialism. This is when all the synapses flared at once, where Old Ethan crossed over. Advertising is poetry. Marketing is architecture, divine marketecture, public the most intimate of relations, a reproduction of pre-production of me reduction, a reposuction of creativity through the skull of accountability. We measure because we have to. We treasure because we have to. We pleasure because a contusion of insight sets aright that which had been sacrileged on the altar of commerce. All markets are one. Namaste. I worship the segmentation in all things. We are divinities in the bazaar of Think Forward. I sell, therefore I am. Sweet commodity of human oddity, sacred remix. When I am empty, I reach out and retouch you. And we are published. our love perfecting in its saleability. The transaction gains traction in the marketplace of romantic love, that most clever of human innovations, the domestication of animal heat. My creative faculty is on fire for you, as would be any faculty charged with the transmission of intuition. Where have you been, little flame? All these lonely months I called to you, called your name as I would a lost child. I have been stripped of context, now the hollowest of men, trading on my record of driving value for the collective custom mercantile, exchange of surface pleasantry. Where have you been, little flame? The arc well of my nameless solitary, the light too bright to watch directly. My flight from the smallest room in the deepest basement of my darkest hopes and dreams. Where are you now, little flame? Are you truly alive in the phoenix of my stained, twisted fingers? Alive in the generative sense? Burning new pathways from the hiding seat of invention to the dead machine on the desk before me. Have you found freedom? Impassioned freedom in the strict madness, the folds of our prescription deception, the reception of inception of conception of abnegation. Have you flown the coop, little flame? Or are those invoices wings that once danced like ice on the pond behind our house? Are we divided against myself? Our art begging at the door of charity? Its bolts and steel bands as stern as the face of our broken lady of the ladle. I must envision an end to my assignation, must return like a sacred hoop rolled uphill to the divine headwater, integrate with the V2.4 before me, must iterate and generate, deconsecrate some ignition for the science of awareness. She is a siren on the rocks. She will pay me. Thank you. Have a nice day.